those in or send them to us, you know, after the presentation as well. I'll give you my email address that you can send questions into if you have them. So we're excited to show you CRM 2016 preview. And what I thought I would do today is go ahead and give you guys just a very brief overview through a PowerPoint on some of the features that are available in CRM 2016, a comparison between 2011 and 2016, and then really kind of hop into the software and show it to you in a live mode as well. So give me, I just lost my mouse here. There we go. So basically, the CRM 2016 navigation structure changed quite a bit. It's tile-themed navigation, similar to what you got when you went to Windows 8. It really allows your users to navigate with less clicks of the mouse and easy access to the data. So what you're going to see when I get into the demonstration is really a flattened and a more dynamic interface. So you're going to find yourself scrolling less as compared with earlier iterations of CRM. The hierarchy also kind of adjusted. You're going to have a navigation bar, and then you're going to go into some modules. So you're going to have your operation module, your configuration module, and then you'll get into your entities such as licensing, miscellaneous permits, code enforcements, inspections, and citizen interaction. Here is just a side-by-side comparison of the CRM 2011 and the CRM 2016 navigation. So on the right side of the screen, you do see more of a tile-based functionality where users can kind of select which modules or areas that they want to navigate into. In CRM 2011, you just had a menu structure on the sidebar to kind of select from. So more tile-based. The other thing that's really neat here is as users find themselves using, you know, a certain module or an area more, they can pin it, and then it becomes available underneath an area called My Work. So they can pin what they want to work on. So you can see here I've pinned dashboards, I've pinned activities, you know, I've pinned a calendar, queues. Those are things that I work on a routine basis. So I can kind of make my own tiles, if you will. The CRM 2016 navigation ribbon, basically you're going to have a home screen, a navigation bar, and then you have the ability to go to most recently viewed items, which is neat. You could do that in CRM 2011, but it wasn't as relevant or as easy to get to. One of the things that they added that's new in CRM 2016 is called a quick create form. So if you want to log a phone call or an email quickly, you're going to have the ability to do that through a new function in CRM. The thing that I'm probably the most excited about in CRM 2016 is what they call a global find function. And I think that this is going to get a lot of praise from the users once they start getting into using this function. So, you know, we all have seen the advanced search function where I can search on, in the licensing area, for example. I want to see everything for Fred Williams. Well, in the licensing module, it would show it to me. Well, what Microsoft has done is they've taken it at a higher level. So now I can look in all of FastTrackGov for Fred Williams. And what will come back to me is anything that Fred has in licensing and inspections and permitting and complaints. So I see it across all my entities versus a singular entity. Of course, you're still going to have your advanced find features that you guys have come to love. So the CRM 2016 navigation ribbon. Up at the top, here's some kind of Microsoft words that you'll be hearing me throw around. You're going to have your home screen. So right here where you see Microsoft Dynamics CRM, at any point in time, if you want to go back to your main screen with all the tiles, you'll be able to click on Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and it'll take you right back to that tile screen where you can select where you want to navigate from there. Right here, the next little yellow area is the navigation bar. So this three little line ellipse, or whatever you want to call it, allows you to navigate between modules. So I could go between the operations module and another module if I wanted to. The little clock that you see right here, it's your recently viewed items. So if you find yourself navigating back and forth between applications throughout the day, you can go click on this little icon and you can find items that you've recently viewed or worked on. As I mentioned here, this quick create forms function allows me to add email or phone call activity against an entity within CRM. Here's that cool little global find option where you see the magnifying glass. If I click on that guy and I type in the word Fred Williams, it'll search across all of Fast Track Gov for that particular search that you're doing, whether it's a person or a property or whatever kind of information it is. And then your Advanced Find button got moved up here to the top as well. So if you're creating queries or saving Advanced Find queries, this is where you find those guys today. So the navigation structure did change. Now you're going to go from your module, FTG operations, into your entities, which would be licensing or permitting or code enforcement, and then you'd go to your records within those. So here is the CRM 2016 navigation bar. So you can see that this little ellipse right here is expanded, those 3 lines. So whenever you click on that, you can go in between operations, which is probably where most of you guys are going to live, and then FTG configuration if you have access to it. And no one's really using the other areas that I'm aware of outside of Mitchell-Humphrey. We use these to track other things. But FTG operations is where most of your stuff is. And the CRM 2016 command bar. So once you choose an entity, the command bar would appear. And basically, it's a list of available actions that can be performed on any information that you're seeing on your screen. So here's your command bar. So up at the top, I can add a new document. If you have security, you could delete one. You can email somebody a link on a particular license or a permit or whatever you're looking at. You can run reports, look at your Excel, export to Excel, search for your records right here. So they're just calling it a command bar. The CRM 2016 grid views, these are your list views. They have a new name. It's called grid views. And it's basically your views and reports that allow you to view your data. So just like we did in CRM 2011, we have a standard list of system views, but you also have the ability to create your own. And that's what you see right here. So here out of the box are our system views. And then if you want to create a personal view, you would be able to do that as well. I know everybody likes the ability to set their default view, and the way that you do that is you're going to just click on a pen, the pen is to the bar. So if I want my default view to be licenses issued the past 60 days, when I pulled it up, I would just click on the pen, and it would be my default view. Quick Find, this is something that you had in CRM 2011. You can basically search by entity for any piece of information. So I'm going to search in the licensing module for Fred Williams. I can put his name in the Quick Find feature and search on it. You can also do wildcard searches by putting an asterisk in front of anything that you're searching on. So here is where that Quick Find feature moved in CRM 2016. So it's almost in the same spot it was in 2011. But it's right here. So I can search in my licensing module for, Cruz Wernley or Noah Paul or whomever I'm searching on or whatever property I am, and it'll return results to me. CRM 2016 has a filtering option. You did have this in 2011. I don't think it was as easily seeable as it was in 2016. So whenever you're in a list view, and you want to filter the data that gets returned to you, you have the ability to do that through this filtering option. And that filtering option lives right here. So I have a view called Active Documents. And if I click on this filter option, for each individual column, I can kind of filter down what type of data I want. So you have the ability to do that here in CRM 2016. Couple other things that I want to point out to you. You had this in CRM 2011. It's called a jump bar. But basically what it is it allows you to jump to a group of data that starts with a specific letter. So if I come over here to the next screen, down at the bottom in CRM 2011, you have this kind of jump bar, if you will. And so I can just say, show me anything that starts with the letter A. And when I click on that, my list would only begin with the letter A's, or the letter D, or I only want the things that start with a number. This jump bar allows you the ability to navigate and kind of narrow down your returns. So you did have charts available to you in Microsoft CRM 2011. You also have them available to you in 2016. So there's really nothing new here. It's just that when you have a view, like Active Documents like I do, your chart's going to be over here to the right. It's really in the same place it was in 2011, but you can have a chart report displaying you the same data that you saw over here in the list view, but just kind of giving you a graphical representation of it. So I wanted to go ahead, and I know we have a large group on today, so I'm not going to open the lines up for questions because we only have 30 minutes reserved. We have about 15 more to go. If you have any questions or anything at all, please email me, bwernley@mitchellhumphrey.com. But what I want to go ahead and do is get into a live product demonstration so you can see CRM 2016 and how it's going to display and render the data to you. So give me just a second here to switch gears. So one thing I do want to point out to you, because this is something that I'm sure you're all wondering about, the portal itself. So whatever portal you're using today, there are really no changes in the portal itself. The big change in CRM 2016 is that if you are using a permitting module, land use, planning, zoning, whatever it might be, we now have the ability to take those types of permits available through the portal and route them for review through the back office. That feature was not there in 2011. It does exist in 2016. But as far as the portal functionality otherwise, it really pretty much behaves the same. What I want to go ahead and do is flip over to what I'm going to call the back office for CRM 2016. And you can see right here that I'm presented with the sign-on screen. So, depending on how you guys sign on today, if you're using Windows authentication, that would still happen when you upgrade. If you are required to put in a username and password, you would go ahead and specify that here. So I'm logging into CRM 2016 with FastTrack and really I've logged in. How do you log out? The way that you log out is you just come up to your name and you click on sign out. So that's a couple of things there. Personal settings, those are things that I know users are used to kind of setting up on their own. If you click on this little cogwheel, you'll be able to go ahead and specify any of your options or personal settings that you want, maybe your default module or how many records you want to see per page. So you have the ability to do things like that. That's still there. Nothing's really changed. The navigation structure is probably the biggest shift. But as you'll notice, you have a lot of tiles that are displayed to you. So basically, I'm on my home page looking at the different things that I can do. So I can go to the licensing area. I can go to construction and land permits. I can go to inspections. I can look at bulk scheduling or bulk results recording. I could go to my property records. So those are all choices that I have to go from. My default module is the operations module. So, as I mentioned, if I click on this little 3 lines here, I can navigate between modules. So for me, I'm logged in as an administrator. FTG operation is where you're going to spend most of your time. So that's the module that we're in right now. So in the module of FTG operations, I can go ahead and do a couple of different things. One thing that I want to point out to you is my recently viewed items, something I showed you guys earlier. So here are all the records that I've been working on recently, and I could go ahead and choose something from that list to kind of navigate back to it. If I want to go to all my active documents, it's going to go ahead and go back to my active documents listing. Now if I want to navigate back to my home page, I would just click on Microsoft Dynamics CRM and go back to my home page. You also have that ability to create a quick activity or log one. So if I click on that plus sign, I can go ahead and log a phone call, an email, or an appointment very quickly. I can also create an account, case, or anything like that that you guys might be doing. Searching the CRM data right here, this is a huge function. This is that global search that we were talking about. So please show me everything against Fred Williams. I can search, and it's going to get across all of my entities. So licensing, permitting, code enforcement, inspections, citizen interaction, accounts, contacts. So I can, have, again, you have that kind of tile-based view here. So I could say, oh, well, here are all the case records for, Fred Williams. Here's all of his citizen interaction records. As I scroll over, I can look at all the licenses against him, or permits, or property records, or violation records. So I really have that ability to kind of go globally, if you will, across all of it, which I think is huge. Right here at the top is your advanced find function. So I know everybody is used to those advanced find features. They've just moved where it lives. So, I can look at my saved views that I have out there, if I have any, and I can create new ones as well. Let's see, a couple other things. So the grid views. Let's go ahead and go into the licensing module. I'm clicking on the licensing module, and here are my grid views or list views. So, same way that I've accessed it before, maybe I want to look at all my active documents. You still have the ability, of course, to export your data to Excel right here. I also have the ability to search for records here. So show me everything against, Noah Paul. I can search within that entity for Noah Paul, and it will find everything for me. So that's still there. You also have the ability to pin different defaults or views. So if in your office you're using, food permits issued a lot, and you want to have that as your default view, you can choose that from the drop-down list. So these are the views that I've created. And once I've selected it and I want it to be my default view, I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. And now next time I come into the licensing module, that's going to be my default view that displays for me. So the filtering option, this is right here. So basically what I want to do is I want to filter my food permit applications issued. So I'm going to click on the filter icon. And now it's basically going to go ahead and let me filter. And so I want to say the primary contact is, and I could do a custom filter, or I can filter by specific primary contacts if I wanted to. And you can basically whittle down or kind of the data that you're getting. So I only want to see everything for Daniel Faraday. And now when I basically do that, I can go ahead and filter my data to be anything. I can also do something for the renewal. Is it a renewal, yes or no? Yes, it is. So here's every food permit application that's a renewal. So you have the ability to do things like that as well. So the filtering thing, I think, can come quite in handy. Let me go back here. Let me go back to all my active documents. The jump bar that I was referring to is basically down at the bottom. So if you want to go ahead and see anything that begins with a specific, type of license or ID or anything like that. So I selected the document type column, and I said, show me anything that begins with the letter D, which happens to be my dog licenses. This is something that you could do in CRM 2011. I don't know if anybody took advantage of it, but all you literally do is you click on the column, like I did, document type. I clicked on it. It has an arrow. And then I say, okay, only show me anything that begins with, let's just do the letter F now. So now I'm only getting active documents that begin with the letter F. So for me, those happen to be food permits. The other thing that you can do here in CRM 2016 that you could also do in CRM 2011 is charts. So if you are more of a graphical person, you definitely can take your row data that you're seeing here and create a very quick chart in CRM and see it displayed as a chart. So if I go back here and I say all, I'm going to look at all active documents, and I want to display the chart for that, it'll give me all different types of licenses, and I can see what's bringing in the most money. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up an application for you. I'm going to show you just kind of how the navigation is different for the food permit applications, or any really application, not food, but any type of license or any type of permit. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up this Bill's Bait and Tackle Birmingham Meat and 3 guy right here. So here is a license record, if you will. It's a document record for the licensing system. This is the new look of basically how that screen's laid out. So I can see it's a food permit application. If you still want to view your submittal form, you can definitely do that. You just click on it, and it'll pull up that application form for you. This one happens to be pretty short. In terms of navigating, you do have the ability to scroll down, just like you did in CRM 2011. So I can kind of go from the general section to the attachments, to fees, to other information. Or I can kind of hop around with a quick link. So instead of scrolling, I want to go to the fees, and I want to see how much the fees were. If I go to the fees area, it'll go ahead and show me that the amount that they paid was $550. So it just jumps me basically to that section of the application. So I have the ability to scroll up and down, or I could just use this little navigation option, and instead of scrolling, go right to the top or the bottom. You also have the ability to see additional information about that particular record. So if I come up here to the navigation, you can see that I'm on this record, 2012-5559. And if I use the little drop-down arrow to the side of it, I can look at everything about it. So maybe I want to see the payments, or maybe I want to see any messages they sent you, or maybe I want to see the attachments, or depending on what you're doing. But if you want to see, if you want to send them a message, I can go to Messages to Applicant, and I could go ahead and add a new message and send it to the applicant. So you would have the ability to go ahead and do that. So they've already paid, but just to kind of show you how I'm typing it in. And it tells me the message will not be sent until I press send. And I missed the subject requirement. And now it's sending that message to the applicant. The other thing that you have in CRM 2016 that I really like is at any point in time, if you want to save data, if you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little disk. And if I hover over it, it says Save. So if I'm in the part of filling out an application and I really want to hit Save, I can, instead of going up here to hitting Save, I could come down here to the disk and hit the disk, and it would save my record as well. So what I really had hoped to do today was to give you guys a really good overview on Microsoft CRM 2016 and how it can work for you. I did want to go ahead, and I know there's many customers on the phone today from New Jersey as well. So what I wanted to go ahead and do is also provide Nancy Brady's email address. In case you guys have any questions and you'd like to go ahead and send them to her. Her email address is nbrady@mitchellhumphrey.com. Feel free to go ahead and email either Nancy or myself, and we can definitely get back to you, talk to you about Fast Track Gov and CRM 2016. We really hope that y'all enjoyed the preview today and are looking forward to the upgrade. There's a lot of great enhancements here that I think will really benefit you overall. Thank you all again for your time today, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you. Bye.